All right, hello. Hello. Hello, good morning. What the hell happened to my Twitch activity? My activity feed on my Blue Sky thing is, or on my Stream Elements thing is going nuts. I've washed my face. I'm sitting at my computer for a very nothing work day. After what the heck all day, what the heck earlier this week, and then now it's just like, nothing. Don't worry about it.
I am the windfish. Long has been my slumber. In my dreams, an egg appeared and was surrounded by an island with people.
Session, how are you doing this morning? I hope you I hope you have. I'm sorry. I'm so fucked up by whatever the hell is happening with these alerts. I don't know. I'm gonna use that one. Ionic hello. What's happening? So so I have a little, like, I mean, Celestian, you stream, you know. So I have like the alert feed, the activity feed, right? On the side, and the one from Stream Elements has like a bunch of nonsense in it, like follows by obvious bots, resubs, like all of the, like, it's just, it almost looks like garbage, like test data. So I'm gonna use the other activity feed one that I have, and just, it's fine. It's fine. It's, I don't know what's going on over there. We won't worry about it. Hi, Celestian, Anik, hello, good morning. How are y'all doing? I hope you're having a good day. I hope your Friday has been good so far. Look at this mic in a good spot. We're going to space today, y'all. We're going to space, and I'm very excited. I've been wanting to go to space for forever. I've always said, hey, what if I go to space? And let me tell you, I don't know if you've ever been to space. Space is bad. Space is not good. Bad things happen in space. It's not. Nobody goes to space and has a good time. Do you know what I mean? Nobody goes to space and has a good time. Every time, like, if you watch any media where they're in space, they're not having a good time. It worked for Han Solo. Did it? Ultimately? I was there last week. Let me get my spaceship. Celestian, did you miss a couple of the movies? Just, he got himself a princess wife. I mean, that's true. You know, things were going pretty all right for old Han Solo there for a minute. I'll give you that one. Things were going all right for old Han Solo there for a minute. And he lived a full happy life with his big buddy. And that's it. That's the end. Do you know that in the Star Wars expanded universe, they killed Chewbacca by dropping a moon on him. They dropped a moon on him. What is he doing? Okay, no, he's not in the kitchen. That's fine. That's disrespectful. I think that's an incredible amount of respect. I think that's an incredible amount of respect. No, he's not just gonna get like punked out like just by like a blaster. No, we have to do a we have to do a catastrophe. We have to do a catastrophe to him. We have to do a thing. We have to do a thing that would obliterate anything. There's not very many things in Star Wars that would hold up to you putting a moon, like just like moon. So, yam. I still gotta remember. I still want to sit down and go read old Star Wars books. Oh, and you might say, Matt, a lot of them are bad. And it's like, yeah, they are. A lot of them are bad. Splinter of the Mind's Eye, good. Still really good. I read that not that long ago. Still very good. Leia got to be a Jedi. Sadly, Disney threw it all out. I saw that coming. TBH. I mean, hell, Lucas wasn't doing anything. Well, that's not 100% true. Lucas very, very, very infrequently referenced the greater canon anyway. So Disney just kind of officially chopping it off. I'm not shocked. You know? I wasn't surprised. I'm fine with the High Republic comics. I need to get my hands on it. I'm digging the High Republic. I started listening to an audiobook for the first High Republic book. I could not get into it. And maybe it was because it was the audiobook. Maybe it was the audiobook. But I felt like no connection to anything that was happening. So maybe it was the audiobook. I'm willing to say. But I've heard good stuff about High Republic for a while. You know. But no, I'm not surprised. I wasn't surprised when Disney was like, yeah, none of this is canon. We're just gonna put it over here. And what I am surprised about is that they've actually been reprinting a lot of it. Like I've seen like new Legends collections and stuff, which that's what I'm surprised about. That's what I'm surprised about. It's a very interesting conflict happening. Do you know the funniest part about High Republic? I remember being like, I remember when they announced it, they were like, oh yeah, it's like, you know, far future or far past, you know, from A New Hope, you know, it's like, oh, it's so far in the past. I was like, oh, that's cool. The High Republic era is set 500 to 100 years before the Skywalker era. 500 years? You can't, you couldn't just, you had to put a number to it. You couldn't just say before. Like, you had to say 500. That's the best part, no effing Skywalkers. Yet. I don't want to be that guy. I'm too cynical. Yet. Or they're gonna give you some guy that's just the same as an Anakin character. Like I really, you know, not that, and I don't want it. I don't want there to be, but it felt so silly to me to read that, to be like, yeah, it's like 100 years before A New Hope. And I'm like, why are we even thinking about that in terms of years? Like, why, just, do you know hey, in the same breath, do you know the best parts of Knights of the Old Republic? It was however the fuck long. It was so long before A New Hope. It was so long. How long ago was it? A lot. Who knows? Gotta write that pitch. I mean, the pitch is, the pitch is just a big banner. The pitch is just a big banner that says, stop fucking worrying about canon. Do you know what I mean? Like that's the bigger thing. That's the bigger thing, is stop fucking worrying about canon. How does this series of comics tie into this other? It doesn't. Shut up. Maybe it does, but shut up. I just want to know the win before the folks. They think people won't watch it if a Skywalker is in the story. It doesn't. I love it for that. I'm down for it. If you won't watch a Star Wars thing because there's a Skywalker, are you saying the opposite? I'd watch a Star Wars period. I mean, do you know how Star Wars is one of those, the canons doesn't make sense? Do you know how you know Star Wars doesn't need a canon? Do you know how you know Star Wars doesn't need a canon? They did that Star Wars, like that's the Star Wars Visions thing. And that was like the coolest thing they ever did. That was the coolest thing they ever did. They were just like, what if we just had Star Wars shit? What if it were just fucking whatever? What if it was anime? You know? We're not curating a museum, we're writing a long draft narrative across media. Right, like it does, like, and it's the same thing. It's why I think the Marvel MCU kind of ultimately crashed and burned, is people were there for the Easter eggs, right? People were there for, like, you watch a movie and at the end they go, you know, and that was, it was exciting when you went, oh wait, that's the, you know, and then it comes up and that's fine. But you can't like, and then that built up to Avengers Endgame and then that's it. They've struggled after this because they're trying to establish this like universe of characters, and they're following this idea that you can't just have a character. Like, I don't know if this is the case, but it feels like there is a marching order that's like, you can't just have a character show up. We have to establish a character somewhere. We have to tease a character somewhere. Do you know what I mean? And it's like, you know, you could just have them show up. We don't need a 6-episode Disney Plus series first. You just have it. You just be there. I personally like official canon in games, movies, TV shows, which is why I dislike Marvel. Oh no, I'm turning around. I'm coming around on the idea. I guess not that I hate official canon, but that there's a point where what you should focus on is telling a fun story. Do you know what I mean? Nuja, hello. Brian, hello. You should focus on telling a cool story. And then if you can figure out a way for those characters to, or those stories to connect in some way, if it's relevant, sure, go for it. You know, oh man, my favorite part of this book was in chapter 8 when Glupshido shows up. I love Glupshido. It's so fun when he shows up in connected media. But wait, wasn't Glupshido on Teferax? And who cares? Who cares? Shut up, nerd. It doesn't matter. It's a book. It's a book. Glupshido can be wherever we want. I don't have any opinions on Star Wars. I'm loving the discussion, but as a Trek fan in glass, I'm gonna throw stones. No, yeah, Star Trek is great too. Star Trek is great too. I feel like Star Trek plot holes are the worst though. There's a difference between plot holes and canon not aligning perfectly. There's a big difference between a plot hole and like canon being like, oh, Glupshido was on Teferax. How could he be on Drevelian 5? Pancakes, hello. And the answer to that is, who cares? The answer to that is, who cares? Pancakes, hello. How was your stream, buddy? How was your stream, buddy? Thank you so much for the raid. Thank you so much for the raid. I hope you're enjoying Blade Chimera. I hope you're enjoying Blade Chimera. It looks like a DS era Castlevania game, and I mean that as a compliment. I mean that as a compliment. I also don't know if I said Brian, hello. Brian, hi. How you doing, buddy? Brian's back at work, so he might not be able to hear me, but Brian, I love you. Get some fresh tea here before we get too deep into it. Pancakes, how was Blade Chimera? But yeah, no, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. My favorite thing to say is have bigger problems. Just like, you know, it doesn't matter that the canon doesn't align perfectly. It's not a big deal. It's not gonna hurt anybody. Nobody, you know, we as visitors of the story are watching it unfold. We're not the authorities on the narrative, and all things contribute to it. We're tourists. Plot holes are just the narrative living and being rewritten by people who are living it, just like IRL history. I think there's a thing to be like, hey, there's like actively a fuck up in this. And that's one thing. And it's another thing to be like, the thing I keep saying, just because it's fun to keep saying Glupshido. And it's another thing to be like, oh man, I can't believe Glupshido was on the wrong planet. I cannot build up the care for this anymore. Do you know what I mean? I cannot, like, you know why? Like, I was watching the Mandalorian. Do you know what was cool in the Mandalorian? When he was doing cool shit. You know, when he was doing cool shit and they do the that was sick, and he'd like blast some guys. I was like, hell yeah, this is what I want. This is what I want to be happening. And then like he ran into the death troopers and shit. I was like, this is cool. This is rad. Do you know what I didn't do? I didn't go and consult my notes to make sure that the creation of the Death Troopers aligns with the canon. Fucking fuck off. I mean, it's Star Wars binge weekend. We were watching Star Wars, and then we had to watch Ahsoka. I kind of don't want to watch Ahsoka. But my fans have notes to keep track of things. Y'all just enjoy the ride. What are we doing? That's what I'm saying. Like, it's like, and I'm a person who I love when shit gets referenced. I love Easter eggs. I love weird like callbacks. But those things aren't lore, or those things are lore. Those things aren't canon. Do you know what I mean? Like, I feel like Dragon Age was a great example of this. Like, they would just reference shit. You know? They would just, it felt like they would just be like, yeah, this, whatever. You know? I don't know, maybe it's me. All those things should take a backseat to good storytelling. Right. The first focus should be this story is enjoyable. And then, oh, there's a weird tie into this. That's fun. That's it. And I think that's like I said, like it feels like that's where the MCU is struggling, is they're trying to build all of this stuff up. They're trying to, oh, it's already live. Oh, fuck. They're trying to build all of this stuff up, and some of those stories are enjoyable, and some of those stories are just, hey, what if we had, you know, 6 episodes of this character so that we could establish that this other character exists. And do all this. Jackie, good morning. I'm gonna double check. I'm gonna double check the embargo on this, just really quick. Just really quick double. Let me do a quick discount double check. All content is embargoed until January 30th at 10 a.m. That's yesterday. I'll admit, if you say this is part of official canon, you do something, say something that's not the official canon, I'll be slightly annoyed. But what I'm saying is, like, the whole idea of having an official canon is like, who cares? How's it going, Fred? I'm doing well. Jackie, how are you? I'm double checking. Okay, I'm not seeing anything that says I can't stream this right now. So it's that fun thing when you have something early that you're like, I'm not gonna get in trouble, right? I have absolutely nothing on my to-do list today for work, which means I'll be vibing. Hell yeah. Fingers crossed. What game were we talking about? So I don't see anything about content embargoes today. So we got, okay, I see sound. There we go. There we go. Yeah, it was just really quiet for me. Matt got us riled up about space. Yeah, I was talking about how excited I am about space. So everybody fingers crossed I don't get in trouble. But this is Citizen Sleeper 2, Starward Vector. You might say, Matt, why are you at risk of getting in trouble? Because the game isn't out, but I don't have anything that says I can't stream it. And content embargoes seem to be up. Content embargoes are up. Let's see, are there other people streaming it? Embargo ended yesterday. That's what I think. That's what I think as well. Are there other people streaming it? It's just me. MCU isn't following comics canon. Oh, Doctor Strange. I don't think Doctor Strange is plot holes. I think Doctor Strange was them just ignoring character growth. You're spoiled the main menu. In for a penny, in for a pound. Here's the thing that's funny though. By the time you can go buy the game, we probably won't be into anything too far past what you can play in the demo, you know? So I think it's okay. I should have double checked though. I should have double checked. I should have double checked. But all right. I was gonna suggest emailing the handler. So the handler is in Australia. So by the time it said, yeah, all content is embargoed as per the date above. So there's reviews out. I think we're okay. But okay, so we're gonna figure out, so difficulty settings, right? Tutorials on. I would like to know how to play the game. Difficulty can be changed at any time. It's always good to know. We're gonna play risky. The digital trends story, the digital trends review for this mentioned that he had a better time with it. I think when he played it on safe, or he adjusted some of the settings, because I think once you get in the game, you can adjust some of these settings. But here's the big thing. Here's the big decision. Is what class do we want to be? Do we want to be a machinist? Do we want to be an operator? Or do we want to be an extractor? I played the demo as the operator. I really like their reroll ability. You can accrue stress to reroll your dice. As it says, risky but powerful. You get 2 pips. You get 1 pip in interface. You have intuit and exchange. You can get engineer. You can't get endure, which I like. This is a slight change from the first game. Machinists are like, yeah, you repair, modify automated systems. You have 1 pip in engineer, 0 in interface and intuit. You can get endure. You can't get engage. I feel like engage is going to be a really big, not having engage is going to be a really big penalty, because I believe engage is the social stat. And I think for the main character, that's going to be bad. And then this is the extractor. You know, you kind of heavy duty. You have 1 bip in endure. You have 0 in engineer and engage. You can boost interface, but you can't intuit. But this gives them the ability to boost your crew die 1 stress to +2 lowest crew die, which sounds good. I don't know how quickly we're gonna have crew die. I do appreciate the sort of like clarity of this, right? I appreciate 1 stress is +2, and you can boost this also as part of the leveling thing. When I played the demo, you get a little skill tree. I think it's very funny that sleepers assigned to extractor work are confident, self-sufficient, and have a high level of endurance. It's funny that they're self-sufficient, but their rally ability is related to crew. I think that's funny. Yeah, I really don't want to be a machinist. I don't like getting locked out of Engage. My computer automatically updated has been stuck on 0% completed for a minute. Computers. Let's do extractor. Let's do something different than I did in the demo. I don't think the game is going to start in the same spot as the demo, but let's do something different than my initial gut reaction, right? Let's do something than my initial gut reaction. Let's... In the moment before waking, the dark space before conscious thought, you struggle to find the pieces of yourself. Oh, I do think we're going to start at the same spot of the demo, so I feel better about that with everything. Jackie, do you know anything about this game? Usually, these pieces come with a particular cadence, each appearing sequentially, like the boot process of an old terminal. First, your body, artificial, compromised, but relaying sense data all the same. Then it's context, the breeze of air filtration, the soft contact of your birth in 0G. Then emotion, coming into focus, coming into your body, bringing with it that first instinct, the one that's framed your past 100 cycles, fear. But that familiar sequence doesn't arrive. Instead, you are unmoored in space, your body distant, your context silent, even your emotions somehow obscured and scattered. Among all that disarray, only one familiar thing arrives, the fear. It is a scrambled, panicked fear, the drowning fear, the falling fear, the fear that makes you reach desperately for any stable point. It is the fear that tells you something is wrong. Something is very wrong with you. Wake up, sleeper. The voice is whispered in your ear, an act that makes you suddenly aware of your head, pulsing in pain, your body rigid with tension. Sleeper, a familiar name, a mind copied, emulated, a body built, implanted. One person sleeping until their dead is worked away, their double being made to work, to be consumed, and eventually to be destroyed. A proxy, an emulation, a sleeper. That is what you are. But you escaped. You remember that now. Broke free of your corporate creators, S and ARP, in search of a future. You cannot remember the details of your escape, but you know the fear has been with you ever since. All of a sudden, you remember you have eyes, and your eyes flicker open. Pale eyes and a pale face. Lane. The name comes with its own specific sensation of fear, one you recoil from instinctively. Sorry to interrupt. A sharp smirk. But this ends here. You search your mind for more than a name. Is this how you reward me for my generosity? Lane is leaning over your horizontal floating body, looking down into your eyes. I took you in, protected you, gave you a purpose. You try to look away, to the corners of your vision, to find something you understand. Your body does not respond. But I suppose this wasn't enough? He reaches into a pocket of his jacket and retrieves a small vial. This wasn't enough? The vial glitters. This object you know, and have known for a long time. Stabilizer, the drug that keeps your artificial body, your emulated mind, from inevitable decay. The only balm for your planned obsolescence. The liquid roiling in the vial fills you with disgust. Are we the same person as last game? Yes. Lane pockets the vial. Who would be wasted on you now, after what you've done to this body of yours? He looks at you with a palpable disgust. Lane's eyes scan your body, and as they do, you become aware of the wires and tubes attached to you. Those that were meant to free you from your dependence, from the stabilizer, and the control it grants Lane. They are free, you piece of shit. They don't need you anymore. The voice comes from somewhere behind Lane's head. It's a voice you know, but when you search your mind to try to understand why, you find only dizzying darkness. Shut him up. Lane barks the command, and you hear the sounds of impact, of pain, from elsewhere in the room. You try to move your limbs again, and this time you feel a flicker, the twitch of a finger. You feel the extension and compression of a synthetic muscle. Free, are you? Lane smirks. You were free when I disabled your tracker, when I gave you the stabilizer you needed. He scans your body with angry eyes. Now, you aren't free. You're just broken. I had such plans for you, Sleeper. I invested in you. Lane grips your arm hard. You feel a jolt of reaction. You will the arm to move. But you've ruined all that. There's gonna be a lot of tea today. Lane speaks louder, over the sound of struggle behind him. I'll try to preserve your body, of course. I have my own uses for it. But your emulation? You feel one of his hands searching behind your head. He finds and grips the thick cable running into the port at the base of your skull. I will burn that out. Lane jerks forward, slamming against your body, then spinning away out of sight. You feel yourself rolling, the cables plugged into your looping and wrapping around your limbs. Then you feel hands steadying you, pulling cables. You glance around wildly and see someone diligently unplugging you. You meet his eyes. Hey! He waves a hand in your dazed face. We need to move. Lane won't be out long. He unloops a cable from around your wrist. Sleeper, help me out here. You blink slowly. Do you know this person? He leans over you and you feel his hands on the connector, flicking switches, releasing locks. Come on, come on, come on. He tugs the connector clear and pulls you up. You see the room you're in for the first time, filled with tech and terminals, wires waving everywhere, all lit by big windows looking out on an impossibly bright, screen-filled street beyond. In the corner, you see the dark shape of a floating body surrounded by a glittering constellation of crimson baubles. Is that blood? Move! You're wrestled and shoved towards the door, which slides open in front of you, and then you're out in all that brightness, all that movement, gliding hard towards some unknown destination. You come to a stop in a dark alley, the one who guided you here pausing to catch his breath. He doubles over beside a massive life support unit that sends a lukewarm breeze across your skin. Excuse me. You stare at him, trying to recall anything about you. You notice his tattered jacket, his lightweight clothes. You remember the station runs hot. Something about the power that flows through the place. He looks up and meets your eye. What's going on, Sleeper? He wipes sweat from his forehead and it floats away in a swarm of spheres. Talk to me. Who are you? You see a concerned frown cross his face. Don't mess with me, Sleeper. That's not funny. He comes closer, eyeing you carefully. What station are we on? He narrows his eyes, waits for the answer. You close your eyes, trying to recall. You force your way through the dark to the image of a station. No, a city, growing on the back of a vast set of hexagonal solar cells, shadowed by them. You open your eyes. Dark side. The word leaves your mouth like an exhale, an instinct. Before you heard yourself sound it out, you didn't know it was there. He sighs. And me? Who am I? You see something like fear in his eyes. Panic, perhaps. You stare hard at his face. The slight upturn of his mouth, the intensity of his stare. Nothing comes. He closes his eyes and drops his head, putting a hand to his temple. The reboot. He's speaking quietly to himself. Lane interrupted the process and... He lifts his head and stares at you. Yo, serial killer! Nothing... Serial killer, hello! Serial killer, how the heck are you doing today? How are you? Welcome in, everybody. Welcome in, Raiders. How's everybody doing? I hope everybody's having a good morning. I missed so much from the start. It's been 5 seconds. You're fine. You're fine, I promise. How goes the gaming? It's pretty good. It's pretty good so far. We are just getting started. We're just getting started. Serial Killer, how was your stream? What was going on? What was going on? What were you getting up to today? But hi everybody. If you don't know me, my name is mattcaulder. I'm a queer streamer and podcaster here on Twitch. Today we are starting Citizen Sleeper 2 because it's out. I've been so excited for this game. I've been looking forward to this game for so long. Very excited to dig into this and play this and share this with all of y'all after playing the first one. I might lose my voice. We might have to do something else because I also have to do a podcast later today, so we'll have to see how it goes. We'll see how it goes at morning break. Played some Mega Man X Dive offline. It's a game, but it's also Mega Man, and I love Mega Man. Well, there you go. Yeah. I remember seeing that they were coming out with that, and I thought it was very cool of them to repackage a mobile game. You know, I thought it was very cool of them to repackage a mobile game because it's like you already put in all that work, you already have all that graphics, you already have all that stuff, to then just be able to be like, okay, well, here's a game. Seems really smart. You know? Seems really smart. Thank you for the shout out for Serial Killer. But yeah, if you're voting spoilers for Citizen Sleeper 2, it is coming out today on Game Pass. So if you're avoiding spoilers, if you're keeping it close to chest, that's fine. Do what you gotta do. Do what you gotta do. I appreciate the heck out of you. I hope everybody, hey, if you gotta go, if you gotta lurk, if you're avoiding spoilers, that's great. Take care of yourself. I hope you have a great rest of your day. If you're hanging out, if you've got any questions about me, the game, the stream, anything going on, let me know. Just ask. Very easy. I watched the trailer. I thought they were making a Mega Man roguelike. It's not that in a gacha game, but it's still interesting. Right, yeah, that's I appreciate that it's it's a gacha game, but now it's offline, so it's not a big thing, It's not a big thing. But hey, I'm gonna have some more tea. But we're gonna get back to it. We need to keep going. We need to leave. He turns and kicks off down the alley. Come on, the rig can't be far. As you're led through the passages and serviceways of the station, you try to recall your life here. The texture, the temperature of Darkside feels familiar, but you struggle to pin specific memories to it. Focusing hard, you recall waking up in these passages, cycle after cycle. The rhythms of the station flowing over you along with the crowds. You recall desperation and the slow decay of your body that caused it. I think I remember you playing the first one last year. Yeah. We played the first one once all of the DLC updates and stuff had come out. And it was great. It was one of my favorite games. It was one of my favorite games we played that year. And just immediately sold me on playing the second one. Just immediately sold me. So, very excited. Thank you again. I don't think I said at the top, thank you to Double Jump for the key. Thank you again to Double Jump. They got me an early demo key. Double Jump is who got me the original Citizen Sleeper key. They've been fantastic to work with for all of this. So thank you again so much to them. And hopefully Hopefully I'm not breaking street date or anything. Then Lane, those pale eyes, offering you a glittering vial. Stabilizer. The promise of supplying more for your work. A deal he locked you into like a cage. There, your memory fails, but in the dark beyond, that moment of panic, of fear, remains. You were Lane's prisoner, Lane's plaything. You shudder in the cold passage. The game comes out in 2 hours on Steam. You should be fine. That's what I'm hoping. I'm hoping with the fact that it comes out very soon, and we probably won't make a lot of progress past the demo. I'm like, fingers crossed. Wait. Your guide holds up a hand, and you stop your glide using the wall. Ahead, you see a tunnel opens up into a wide open bay, with a few doors leading to cylindrical tunnels. The docks. They're watching the rig. He nods towards the docks, and you see one of the doors has a couple figures flanking it. Excuse me. One covered in ornate tattoos, the other with bright silver implants along their cheekbones. Usubo, Lane's guys. He looks at you and shakes his head in frustration. All this, it's not coming back to you, is it? Something catches your eye, and you see he's playing with a coin, nervously turning it over and over in his fingers. He sees you looking and slips it away. He places a hand on his chest. I'm Seraphin, all right? He looks pained when he speaks. Lane, he was our captor, both of us. We did this so we could escape. We needed to reboot you, to break your dependence on Stabilizer. He pauses. You know what that is, right? You nod meekly. But Lane interrupted me back there, and the reboot didn't complete, and he sighs and shakes his head. We can still make this work. He looks back at the docks. I'll lead them away. You get the docking bridge open. If we can make it to the rig, I know how to get us in. Got that? He searches your face for a sign of recognition. I got it. Get that door open. He pats you on the shoulder. I know you can do this. Seraphin kicks off hard and glides into the docks. Over here, shitheads! He bellows to the guards as he barrels through. They immediately push off from the wall, giving chase. You wait oh, here we go. You wait a breath, then glide across the door they were guarding. You look, already panicked, at the tightly sealed door. Its control panel locked out. You hear a shout from somewhere nearby. You need to get it open. Hi, welcome to the game. This is a skill test. We can try to interface. We can try to hack the door using interface, or we can try to break the seal using engineer, right? Now this is based off of either of our skills, right? So we have engineer and interface. This seems fine. Yeah, this is fine. So we have 0 points in engineer, I believe. So we have a 50% chance of a positive outcome, a 50% chance, or 25% chance of a positive outcome, a 50% chance of a neutral outcome, and a 25% chance of a negative outcome. We have nothing in interface, and if I remember correctly, interface is the skill we cannot increase. Or no, it's intuit. So we have no points in interface, and we have a 50% neutral and 50% negative. So I'm gonna play the numbers. I'm gonna play the numbers a little bit here and maybe get a positive outcome. Neutral outcome. Okay. So we pass, but it's not a win, right? This is the big thing with Citizen Sleeper with taking from TTRPG mechanics, right? Is it's not a Baldur's Gate D20, you know, roll your D20 plus 7. Do you pass? Do you fail? Whatever. This is much more like a Powered by the Apocalypse game. The original game was very heavily based off of Blades in the Dark. This game has a lot of systems that are similar to that genre of games. I need to go read some more interviews and stuff with Gareth because I'm very interested as to what games he was looking at. But there's a lot more you know, Blades in the Dark things. Excuse excuse me, while also expanding the general mechanics. You shift to the central access panel and wrench it open. You scan over the mechanism looking for a weakness. Somewhere nearby, you hear more shouting. You reach in, grab the main latch, straining as you bend it outward. The seal releases, and you drag the door halfway open. It screeches in its metal frame as you pull. Go, go! Seraphim flies past you through the doorway into the docking tunnel. You turn to see the two guards approaching fast across the docks, and quickly glide after Seraphim. He is already on the rig's door, inputting an entry code. The rig's door scissor open, and you both rush inside. Quickly! Seraphim grabs you by the arm and drags you up to the cockpit, the ship's layout hazy in your mind. He dumps you into a flight seat and traps himself into his own. You see him tap a series of buttons as he does, talking to himself. Come on. The rig's drive rumbles to life, and Seraphim slams a button on the console. You feel the force of the ship's acceleration as it pulls away. Woo! Space! How you know we're in trouble? We have dice now. As the ship glides into place on the connecting bridge, excuse me. As the ship glides into place on the connecting bridge, its automatic systems nudge there by the port's docking protocols. You feel a sense of relief. Seraphim burned hard out of Darkside. You dropped in and out of consciousness in your seat as the rig made its way across the belt. But now, with open space between you and Lane, you feel fresher, more awake. Seraphim breaks the silence. We're good, Sleeper. His eyes don't leave the monitor, and you realize this part of your escape is routine for him. You and he must have docked the ships countless times in your work for Lane. The problem is, you don't remember any of them. We made it, he whispers, closing his eyes and letting out a sigh. I don't think we did. He shakes his head and unclips from the pilot's seat. Seraphim reaches up, flicking through a set of switches in a practiced fashion, completing the shutdown. You watch, a little frustrated with your own uselessness. Running the rig, you realize, is just another thing you've forgotten. A clunk that runs through the walls of the ship is followed by a short percussive alarm tone from the pilot's console. Docking complete. Seraphim kicks off from his seat, twisting as he glides past you towards the back of the cockpit. His hands find the rails on either side of the door and he pauses, facing into the corridor beyond. He turns back to you, backlit and cold cyan. We need a plan. He glances around. Lane's not gonna let us slip away quietly. He sighs. We hide here. Seraphim glances around. I hope you don't mean on the rig. He smiles a little, his teasing a little unsure. His smile fades. Maybe. But on the approach, Hexport looked like a pretty small place to disappear into. We bought ourselves some time. He glances around the cockpit window at the blinking lights of the station. You may not remember Hexport, but I do. And there's plenty of opportunities for us here, if we can keep our heads down. He turns back to the corridor. That's what we'll do. He pushes off and glides towards the main lock, and you follow, pulling yourself along, hand over hand in 0G. We already emptied the tank on this thing. He slaps a hand against the ship's inside. So we need to refuel, and that won't be cheap. But if you and I know one thing, Sleeper, it's how to work. I'm gonna get myself reacquainted, see if I can turn up any old connections. People that might throw us an easy contract. He glances back over his shoulder. You keep out of trouble. I'm going too. Seraphim stops at the airlock. Not with me, you aren't. You bring a lot of attention to us, Sleeper. People don't forget your face. Stopping the reboot halfway through, he pulls a worn crew jacket from a locker and starts pulling it on. We don't know what it did to you. He slams an arm into a sleeve. I don't want you passing out in... He stops. It'll take both of us. Seraphim sighs. I hate it when you're right. He grabs another crew jacket and thrusts it at you. Just put the damn hood up, will ya? You take it and slip it on. Seraphim stabs at the button to open the lock. The inner door hisses open and Seraphim glides through. Wait for a little bit, then leave. Anyone looking for us will be looking for two people traveling together. He looks at you in your worn crew jacket, a limited disguise for what is clearly a sleeper. We meet back here later. Any trouble? Same thing. Meet here. He surveys your disguise again and shakes his head. This is a shitty idea. He gives you one last look. Maybe find yourself something to eat. Suddenly you recognize Seraphin's instinct to look after you. A flash of a relationship now lost to the reboot. Catch. Seraphin throws a handful of something towards you. You manage to grab the projectiles, and when you open your hand, you see a stack of cryochits. These should get you some food. We'll need some more for fuels and supplies. He grimaces. That means odd jobs on the station, for both of us. Seraphin kicks off and glides down the docking bridge. But don't go too far, all right? He shouts as he leaves. Take it slow. And with that, he's gone, leaving the connecting bridge and heading to Hexport's docking concourse. You wait for a moment in silence. Let's think about Seraphin. Think about my friend Seraphin. Mouse, what are we doing? It's hard to know what's going on inside Seraphin's head. Here he is on some hapless escape plan with a friend who can't remember anything about him. You try to imagine how close you must be. You try to imagine how close you both must have been for him to agree to this thing. But it's painful to think about. That's all gone now anyway. All you can do is move on. You shake the thoughts from your head and pull the jacket tight. Let's see what Hexport has to offer. You kick off and glide into port. Kira, good morning. All right. Time for the game, baby. So, the game runs in cycles, as it says here. Perform actions with your dice. Spend cryo to buy food, fuel, supplies, and items. Progress clocks towards new scenes and events. You view tutorials at any time. So, this is Hexport. We have some dice. These are places we can go. We don't currently have any active drives. Drives are like quests, and when you complete a drive, that's when you can advance, right? So here's my character screen, right? As I get advances, which you'll get in multiples, you know, I can increase my skills, right? So if I want to not have 0 interface, I could spend 4 points and get technically to 0. I could also spend it to increase my my ability, my rally ability. It's a lot of reading for the intro, buddy. So this is the rig. So we have a clock here on the rig. Use the bunks. Yeah. You can choose which resources they should focus on the crew task. So Seraphin can do his own stuff. This is a cycle clock. Its completion will toggle significant events, right? So this little icon, this red icon, means every cycle this will advance, right? This will tick up. On the run, you've put some distance between you and Lane, but you're sure that he'll close the gap as soon as he's able. So once this clock fills, Lane has caught us, right? Lane has caught up to us at least, right? So we can have Lane focus on different things. So we can say, hey, get cryo, get fuel, get supplies. I'm gonna leave him on cryo for right now. Maybe we'll come and change this. Kira, how are you doing this morning? We have the docks and the exchange and nowhere else. So let's check out the docks. Citizens League Retreat perform actions by assigning action dice to them. Your dice are modified by your skill. Skill checks, dice actions have 3 outcomes: safe, risky, or dangerous, based on the outcome. And basically, the reward that you get is based on the difficulty and your ability, right? So I have engage. I have a 0 in engage, right? Intuit, can't do intuit. But this is 2 different ways, right? Talk to crews, explore the docks. I have 2 different ways to advance the Hexport connections clock. And this was a thing from Citizen Sleeper 1. You would go to a location, you would, you know, do some odd jobs like, oh, I'm gonna go around and talk to people. That opens up connections. I make connections, and that opens up new spaces on the map, right? And you don't need to explore every location. You can if you want, but you can also say, oh, I just don't want to. You can role play a little bit and say, I don't think I need to do that. Not great. I'm sorry, Kira. I hope hanging out with us here today, you can feel a little better. The same thing here at, what is this? The Hexport Exchange, right? So we can trade scrap. This is dangerous, right? Or impress the brokers. We don't have interface. So, but this is dangerous. So if we put the 6, right? 100% positive because it's a 6, right? You did it. If we put the 1, right? We have a 50-50 chance, but it's dangerous. So the outcome would be worse than something else, right? So if you didn't watch Citizen Sleeper 1, if you don't remember, a lot of this game is trying to play these balances and saying, hey, it's not worth it for me to spend 2 to have a neutral outcome. Or it might be because I could get 1 advance, right? So a lot of it is playing, for me at least, is playing the numbers, understand what your skills are, understand what you can do, and trying to make the best of your dice. Now, there's going to be more systems that come into it. There's going to be more stuff that comes up. But we're going to take this, right? We're going to take this. Guaranteed positive. Boom. 2. Rules of exchange, 7 cryo. And we found a new location. Hexport Trade Hall. Right? What is this for? Is this for, let's see what the trade hall has to offer. So we can buy fuel for cryo, right? So we can spend cryo to buy fuel or fill fuel, and buy or fill supplies. Now the fun thing to keep in mind, right? Again, the numbers. Buy supplies is 1 supply for 15. Fill supplies is get all of your supplies. So I currently have 2 of 5. If I was at 0, 45 cryo is the better deal because I'm getting more supplies, right? It works out better. The same thing with fuel, right? Now, granted, this, oh no, you know what? It looks like it scales. Never mind. Don't listen to me. Don't listen to me. But let's see if we can make a little progress here. Okay. So that cost us money. Maybe we had a negative maybe we had a neutral outcome. That cost us money. But we discovered a new location, and now we can't go back to that location anymore because we've fulfilled it. We found the Hexport Canteen. Here you can eat in exchange for cryo. Eating gives you energy and stops you from starving. Different foods give you different amounts of energy. So now I can spend 13 cryo to eat. This little white bar here below my dice is my energy, right? I don't remember 100% how energy works in this game. Don't listen to streamer, mute stream. There you go. The setting you've always wanted. Guide. Energy. Each cycle that passes, you use 1 energy, and each clock, if you have no energy and are starving, you gain 1 stress. You regain energy by eating. Yeah. So I'm okay for right now. I got 3 energy. So I need to try to make some progress on this one as well. Now the trick is, I finally decided to use my 2-week free trial of Pocket. Sounds like a good idea. And what's good is, I Ionic is you'll have the is that the news gathering thing I used to use it? No, TCG Pocket. The Pokemon app. So the thing is, this 3 has a chance to give me a positive outcome. Okay, that's probably a neutral outcome. Yeah, neutral outcome. I gotta try for it. I gotta roll the dice. Okay, okay. Negative outcome. So I lost an extra energy. I did still make progress, but I spent an energy. But now I can go here. I can go to the Benz, the dockside bar. I can get food for 7. I can buy a food for 7. And I could try to play Star and Stoker, a gambling game, which I can't do because I don't have Intuit. So, but you know what? Okay. Hey, 7 cryo, 2 energy for 7 cryo is pretty good. You know? I'll say. But we gotta end the cycle because I'm out of dice. I'm out of things I can do. And that's the game right there. That's like 80% of the game. That's some good dice. That's good dice. I'm happy for that. You ever wake up? These are my spoons, right? These are my spoons, right? You wake up, am I having a bones or a no bones day? Different thing called Pockets, an app that lets you keep all your I should read this later in one place so you can read them later, even though, let's be real, you won't. Jackie, I used Pocket back when it was called a different service, and I've used it ever since, and how dare you attack me like this? In my own home. Yeah, no, this is a pretty good bones day. This is pretty good bones day. We're in trouble. We're in trouble, sleeper. Seraphim leans into the bunks as you're getting up. Without further explanation, he disappears down the corridor towards the rear of the ship. You've never heard that term? You've never heard bones, no bones? It was a big thing on TikTok. It was a big thing on TikTok. It was a whole thing. Yeah, well, but the pup was very old. The pup was very old and lived a full happy life, so. Something's happening. You drift out into the passage, pulling on your clothes and glide down the length of the rig, the cool air making you shiver. Seraphin's a silhouette silently leading the way. He stops at the far end, diverting through a side door, shooting you a glance as he does. You find Seraphim inside, holding one of the tangle of arm-thick tubes that are waving in 0G. You know what these are? Fuel pipes. Close enough. These are the engine's feed lines. He waves one in the air. Before you ask, no. They weren't supposed to be waggling loose. It does feel like one of those things where it's just like, do you know what this is? It's like, that's wrong. I'm just gonna guess that's wrong. There's a pet who they'd post every day if the pet could walk or not. If it did, it was a bones day. If it did, it was a no bones day. Am I correct in the context? Yes, exactly, Nuja. Yeah, it was the dog in a little doggy bed, and he'd be asleep, and he'd pick him up and put him on his, and put him down on his feet. And if he stood up, it was a bones day, and that means you're gonna have a good day because you got bones. And if not, it's a no bones day, and hey, maybe you take care of yourself a little harder today. It was cute. It was a very cute, sweet pug too. It's worth Googling. Yeah, I'm sure somebody did a YouTube compilation. They were very cute. They were very cute. It's a cute dog. He did a new one. for the TikTok shutdown, which was great to see out of nowhere. Like all of a sudden out of nowhere, it was like, here's bones, no bones. And I was like, I felt my heart grow slightly. What happened? These must have broken loose when we pushed the ship hard on our way out of dark side. He looks at the mess. We're lucky the reserve tank is empty, otherwise, shakes his head. It could have been bad. That is how culture happens. Iron, hello. Trout, how are you, my friend? It's good to see you. But pushes the pipe to the side. No feed from the reserve tank means that the rig's range is limited to the local region only. He thumps the large lump and housing of the engine. This thing can't take us anywhere far. So we fix it. That's the short of it. Seraphim whacks the engine housing again, harder this time. Just not been our run of luck. He turns and starts gathering the tangled feed lines, his frustration evident in the violence of his movements. We'll need a new set of these, that's for sure. He starts forcing them into a crate. How about you try to track them down? I'll take a look at things here and see if I can figure out another fix for the reserve tank. He glances up from his work. From what I've heard on Hexport, Factory Row is a place to find ship fitters. Maybe you can do some recon while I sort this place out. It's on the other end of the station. Stay up late watching the fire aid thing. How's that been? I've been seeing a ton of people on it and talking about it.
Trans rights.
I hope they're raising a ton of money. Fuck yeah, trans rights. Imagine explaining to our Suser ancestors we determined a day was a good day. I mean, they used to throw bones in a cup, so they don't get to say shit. All right, I'll take a look. Wait, Seraphim pauses, seemingly unsure. There's something else. He drops the feed lines and they float, waving in air like tubular seaweed. I've heard word that Lane's on the hunt. He frowns. A message went out everywhere in the local radius of Darkside. He's looking for us. And we can't leave. Exactly, Seraphim sighs, which is why we need those feed lines. I'm gonna try to work something out. Maybe I can improvise a solution. I don't know. I'm no ship fitter. But while I do, you go hunting. See what we can turn up, okay? He smiles a weak smile. Get going. You leave the engine room, the clanking sound of Seraphim's cleanup efforts echoing through the ship. Fuel feed lines. That's the next step. You take a deep breath and head out. I was a little confused until I zoomed in. Seraphim is showing nip. I like you zoomed in. I appreciate you were like, hang on. All right, so drive, right? Drives are the big things. These are your big quests, right? This is a major drive, right? To find a ship fitter. This is a major drive, so this will give me 2 upgrade points. A minor drive gives me 1 upgrade point. But these are your big quests to work on through the game. Now we have a new location we can go to, Factory Row, which works the same as the other ones, right? It works the same as the other ones. Now we have an endure skill here, right? So we get a +1. So this too is pretty helpful. It's still dangerous, but it's helpful. So we can get a lot done probably with these 4s. Yeah, because these 4s will turn into 5s, and that gets us out of a negative outcome, right? Just as I suspected, it's a nipple. Yeah. You can apply your daily dice to your workload for the day. That's neat. Yeah. So this is the whole game loop of Citizen Sleeper, right? Is you have these dice, and these determine your numbers you can use for the day, right? And so having a bonus here on Endure means I can make use of more of the dice. Sorry, I was out of chat. No, it's fine. It's fine. And that means that I can use some of my higher dice for this one down here that's harder for me to do. So, yeah. So I can spend this 4 We've guaranteed no negative reaction, which is good. It's dangerous, so a neutral could still cause a problem. Okay, so we had to lose an extra energy. Before we do too much, I'm gonna get this one done because we have the endure. Okay, of course we get fucking 2 neutrals. Fuck off. Fuck off, coin flip. Factory row howls as you glide through its cramped corridors. Whatever its many bays and rooms once were, they now serve as containers for industry of every kind. Whirring factories precisely engineer components with rapidly shifting arms, while scrappers hammer incessantly at bent ship plates. Everywhere you look, there's energy and activity, and for good reason. Hexport itself is built on the derelict fragments of a solar reflector, and even the small amount of energy generated by its remaining mirrors is enough to power a city of machines. I saw the first Citizen Sleeper was free on PS Plus, and I had the patented mattcaulder. I need to play that reaction. You should, it's good. Every time I think of playing a space game, my brain is like, EVE Online is still a thing. Sure, or you could play No Man's Sky. You can play No Man's Sky. It is familiar to you, of course, in a strange off way because of Darkside. That place and your memories of it are a muddy haze, but it's hard to forget the glint of its hexagonal reflectors, 10 or 20 times more in number than Hexport's, and that wild flickering city growing on their back like a tumor. In comparison, Hexport feels provincial, but deep in Factory Row, you could almost be back in Darkside. And then you see them, tubes just like those Seraphim had waved in your face, the feed lines. You push over to the display window of the unit, marked Karstein's Supply in block capitals cut from hull plate. There amongst an angled shelf of oversized ship components sit the feed lines, like some large biomechanical tangle of snakes. You slip inside where the sound of Factory Row is a little screened, and spot a large figure working at a bench. Hunched over, concentrating, it seems he doesn't notice you enter. Hello? A sharp eye glints as the figure looks over his shoulder. Can I help you? His accent is heavy but unknown to you. The feed lines, how much? There's a sharp clink as Karstein places his tools in the component against a magnetic plate on the wall. He turns with surprising grace and begins cleaning his hands on a cloth. Those sharp eyes scan you, but Karstein's thick-set features do not betray the results of his assessment. Custom built those, for a client that never collected. He looks at his hands while he speaks, checking for stray oil stains. You have one of the old MEVs, then. He sounds out the letters in a way you don't recognize as he speaks. You try to recall anything you know about your ship, but the memories elude you. Perhaps Seraphim should have come along. I think so. Karstein squints a little. Right. Look. Karstein drips over to where you're standing, his imposing height evidence. For a fellow enthusiast like you, he continues in a distinctive monotone. Let's say a few hundred cryo, on clean sheets. He shoots a glance at the feed lines. 400, let's say, to be precise. I don't have 400. Karstein looks you up and down and sniffs. It's expensive, I know. It's a shame, but it's just what they are worth. He screws up his mouth a little into something that might be a smile. However, I'm more of the bartering type myself anyway. You know, hey, barter sounds good. Karstein nods sagely. There's a little favor I need a crew for, and well, you look like you might be a good fit. He tucks the cloth away in a pocket and clasps his hands. I know of an old Solheim wreck out there. Very old. Pre-collapse. It's tucked away in a dead zone, so no one has ever really cut it. He shrugs. Not only that, but Solheim derelicts have a habit of triggering nasty security protocols when approached by an unfamiliar ship. So it's been left well alone. But a salvager like you, with an old Solheim rig, I bet it wouldn't even flinch if it saw you coming. He smiles. I have a special interest, a need for that old tech. All those Solheim ships have a data core, and while I don't care about the accounting reports or material ledgers or whatever they kept on the damn thing, I do care about the hardware. So, if I was to find you back here, With that data core in your cargo hold, clean cut and complete, well, then I could see my way to doing a barter for the feed lines. Karnstein pauses, sniffs at the air again. You just need the coordinates. Why do you want it? Blurry hello. The ambience music is honestly what I love in a sci-fi game. The music in all of these games has been really good. Oh god. Blurry, how you doing today? I hope you're having a good morning. Let's have a little tea. Let's take a second. You know, I'm gonna, yeah, you know what? I don't care why he wants it. Just like, simple as that. Simple as that, he repeats in his monotone way. So, you interested? He glances back at his workbench. Because I am busy, man. I'll do it. All right then. He holds out a heavy hand for you to shake, and as you automatically reach out, he grabs your forearm instead. Karnstein pulls you closer, squeezing your arm. Let's keep this one between us, all right? He half smiles, his face huge and close. It is our deal. Before you can respond, he thumbs a little drive into your palm. Those coordinates. And then he lets go of your arm with what you swear is a wink. You take a moment to gather yourself, and by the time you do, a whirring fills the air, Karnstein having returned to his workbench. You turn and glide out of Karnstein's supply with a growing mix of anxiety and excitement in the pit of your stomach, and the cacophony of factory row in your ears. A contract. Seraphin might even be impressed. You look at the drive in your palm and smile. This could be a route out. You think of leaving this place behind, in possession of an improved ship, too. Suddenly, a small but firm hand falls on your back, an equally small voice coming with it. Hey, wait up! You turn in the passage to see a young woman, her hair waving from the rapid glide she clearly just came out of to catch you. She steadies herself using your shoulder. Sorry. She smiles a quick and flat smile. Wanted to catch you. I'm Junie. Her dark eyes flick around nervously. You notice the portable terminal she carries, something data scrappers call a deck, and her backpack full of components and trailing wires. Do I know you? Are the citizens sleeping? No, yes, that's why we need to wake them up. Lyrics, hello. Lyrics, hello, how are you this morning? She pauses, confused by the question. No. She pauses again. Karnstein, she starts, still catching her breath. He sent me to grab you. She smiles that flat smile again. Wants me to come with you on the job. Her eyes shoot down to the drive in the palm of your hand. She smiles again. Why didn't he tell me? She glances back towards Karnstein's. I guess he forgot? He does that sometimes. She looks sheepishly at you. He just grabbed me after you two were talking, so... Karnstein's always sending me on things like this, and I guess he wants me to help you out. Keep an eye on things. She pauses. I can be pretty helpful. It's icy out here. Oh gosh. Be safe. Be safe, Lyrics. So, she looks around the passage. Should I meet you at your ship and you can tell me when you're ready to go? I don't know. What do we think? What do we think? How do we feel about Junie? Seems a little suspicious, but you know, sometimes you just, sometimes you just catch a weird vibe. Seems fine. IDK the vibe yet? Jackie's like, I have no reason not to trust her, so yeah, sure. Jackie's like, I'm not playing the game. Yeah, it sounds good. Okay, great. Her eyes light up. You notice she still has her hand on your shoulder and takes it off. Junie pushes off and waves. Looking forward to working with you. She calls back as an afterthought. What about the ship? Oh, I'll find it. She calls back and disappears down the passageway. You watch her go, glad of the contract, but nervous too. Will Karnstein keep up his side of the bargain if you deliver? New local crew available. Naturally, I assume the best in people, so let's do it. Yeah, random person, let's go. I don't know about this, Sleeper. Seraphim looks nervously out the rig's windows as you finish explaining Karnstein's deal, as well as Junie's offer of help. The job was this easy, Karnstein would have done it himself already. And that means there's a catch. He frowns at the stars. And there's definitely something going on with this Junie girl. He shakes his head. New best friend? Yeah, look out, Seraphim. New best friend, me and Junie. She would be useful, though. No doubt. Seraphim shakes his head. We desperately need help on a job like this. What if... Seraphim narrows his eyes. We could get the crowd together to buy the feed lines? Is that even possible? Found a contract board at the exchange, further in station. He gestures toward Hexport. We take on a job? That might get us some of the way towards buying those feed lines. Plus, even if we do want to take the Karnstein's job, a bit of money would help us get prepared, wouldn't be a bad idea. Fill up on fuel, supplies, be ready for whatever comes. I'll take a look. Good, Seraphim nods. While you're at it, you might want to see if you can scare up some freelance crew, too. Shrugs. Many hands make light work, and all that. Or we stop messing around. We take Karnstein's job right now and get it done before you can think twice. Seems like a whole set of bad options to me. Either way, I still got work to do on the drive. Seraphim nods farewell, heading back to the engine room. Let me know what you decide. For a moment, you pause, letting the haze of plans and ideas settle in your mind. Suddenly, you curl up, pain shooting along your spine. You grit your teeth, your muscles lock tight. Your vision narrows as you squeeze your eyes shut. You feel a shift, as if some connection has broken. It's almost impossible to describe, but you're floating away from your body, dispersing, dissolving. There's nothing familiar in your pain, nothing to hold on to. You grit your teeth. And then another shift comes, and you're back in your body, trembling against the metal wall of the passage. The pain slowly fades, becoming a pulsing throb and then a residual flicker. You flex in 0G, stretching out the tension. There's a strange sensation of distance that persists beyond the pain. A disconnection between your body and yourself, a flickering numbness that refuses to recede. You wonder if the reboot has done something to your body, or if this is some new sensation you'll have to live with indefinitely. It strikes you how you know so little about the body that houses you. It could be moments away from collapse, or it might persevere for countless cycles like this. You try to shake off the feeling, pushing your hands against each other until they feel like they're yours again. Time is the only thing you need, and right now, it feels like it's running out fast. You head for the airlock. You have work to do. All right, so we've unlocked a contract. Contracts are high-risk, high-reward jobs that we can take on. They require preparation and care. Let me tell you, I thought I was prepared when I did this in the demo. I was not prepared. You need fuel, you need supplies. Recruit crew. Consider which crew to take carefully. They have different skills and stress resistances, and who you choose can affect the story. Once you're ready, take the contract. So this is, we're here, we can, listen, we could just do it right now. Whatever. I mean, we can't because we don't have the fuel for it, but. So, that's the first thing we need, fuel. Right? So, here is, so we can just buy the feed lines for 400 cryo, or we deliver the data core, right? So we've got this place we can go to sell scrap. All scrapyards, well, we can't do that one at all. Swift Scrap Solutions, as it's known locally as a chaotic and slightly terrifying scrapyard where open shifts are always available. My guess is you do this one and get scrap, and then you sell the scrap. This is it's more involved than it looks, you know? So we have a minor drive to complete a contract, and then a minor drive to recruit some crew. So let's look at the contracts. Station management have located a Conway signal. They're concerned to see one so close and are looking for someone to disable its source. So we can disable the source for 200 cryo. So we'll buy it. But we still need money. Now I want to buy this. It's a good game. Okay. As an outsider, it seems very complicated. I'm sure once you delve in, it's not as, yeah. And I played the first game, and a lot of the systems are the same from the first game. I'm gonna spend a little bit of money to eat. Man. We don't have any good options for making money. Oh, we never finished Hexport connections. All right, well, let's do that. Maybe we'll get a spot that's a little better. Oh, new location discovered. The warehouse is freight storage. Hang on, here we go. Yeah. Freight loading, there we go. Make some money. Now, I'm gonna try to advance this clock. I'm gonna try to get this clock filled because at 6 we should get a new location. Great, 2 neutrals, love it. Whenever you see clocks in this game, you want to fill them. Filling the clocks is how things happen. It could be a bad clock, and a bad thing could happen, but filling the clock is what makes things happen in the game. As you're gliding across the docking concourse, you hear a scuffle. The noise of raised voices cuts through the conversation drifting out of the dockside shops. Glancing down an alley, you see a huddle of figures shouting back and forth. You spot one man in the middle of the group, surrounded, pushing the others back as they grab at the bag slung over his shoulder. You don't like the way this looks, but then again, Seraphin told you to keep your head down. We could do nothing. We could rush at him. Or not do that one. That one's bad. Hey. What did I say yesterday? I was like, the only way interesting stories happens by putting yourself in interesting suggestions or something like the more interesting choice is to get yourself involved. So get yourself involved. Neutral outcome. All right. Without thinking, you kick off and glide down the alley, judging the parabola of your drift to aim directly into the back of the most aggressive assailant. You barrel down the alley, raising your arms for the impact. As you do, your target turns back to face you. You see the flash of an implant across their eyes before you slam into them. The assailant grabs onto you as you hit them, and the two of you spin together in 0G, kicking and pulling at each other. You manage to get both legs up between the two of you and kick him off into the metal pipes opposite. Then something hits you from behind, and the whole alley blurs as you spin forward. Through the ringing sound of the impact, you hear curses shouted in retreat. Matt neutral outcome called her. You steady yourself, and a heavy hand falls on your shoulder. Don't do that again. The man gives you a severe look, shaking his head at your eager attack. One of those scumbags knifes you? I don't want that on me. He pushes you aside in the corridor and throws the large bags over his shoulder. I was helping. The man laughs. Well, he shakes his head. Thanks, I guess. He kicks off and drifts past you. Reminds me a lot of old text-based adventures like Zork. This just happens to have some visuals. Yeah. Yeah, I see that. I see that. One of the Twitch drops for No Man's Sky today is an A-class staff, and I don't know what that means, but I need it. I need that. You watch the man go, then after a moment, he stops and turns back. He rubs his forehead, looking down as he does. What's your deal anyway? He sighs. Maybe you're new here, but Hexport's no place for do-gooders. I know what it's like. To get beat up? The man shakes his head. Hexport's got real rough. Look, let's not hang around, all right? The man pats his chest. I'm Femi. He unshoulders one of the bags and pushes it towards you. Make yourself useful. Let's head. You get the strap. Let's head is a odd way. Like, it's... I get... You get the strap of the bag over your shoulder and follow him through the docks, gliding past the concourse towards the connecting bridges. He cuts down a side passage, looking back to check you're following. Let's head is a decision. Like, go is right. Like, we still use go. We still have the word go. Just say go. You look out the viewing window in an odd catamaran-like shape, seemingly built from two separate holes welded together. Symbol crash, he says, and you assume that's the ship's name. Femi, you bringing in strays? A young woman, brightly dressed, stretching as she glides, drifts into the passage. She glances at you. No offense. Naya. Femi shakes his head. This one... He squeezes your shoulder. Help me fend off some Hexport scum while you were busy sunning yourself. Naya raises an eyebrow. I'm sure you could handle them, big brother. Her glib response hides the flash of concern that passes across her face. You can't tell if Femi noticed. Naya turns to you. Thanks, she smiles sweetly. And I'm sorry for my brother. She shoots him a glance. Just in general. Naya. Femi murmurs, enough now. He reaches over and takes the bag you were carrying. Naya rolls her eyes at you, but stays silent. Factory Road wouldn't take these. Femi hefts the bags. I'm gonna load them back up. Maybe we'll find a use for them. He turns back to you. Thanks for the assist, Sleeper. He nods firmly. Not what I expected. He slaps the button on the bridge door and kicks off along the docking bridge on his way to the symbol crash. Naya looks at you with raised eyebrows. I hope my brother was joking? Or did you really help him? I tried. Thank you. She looks back at the ship. My brother needs more help than he admits. It's okay. She pauses, thinking. I want to ask you something. She takes a deep breath, then gives a direct look. What is she building to? Are you looking for crew? She looks away. Sorry to be direct, but you seem like... Well, if you're on Hexport, maybe you're with a crew. She stops herself. I mean, maybe your crew needs crew. Maybe you're looking. Why do you ask? Naya looks back at the ship, then at you. Look, I'll be honest. Being on a crew with my brother is nice, but he is suffocating me. She frowns at her own bluntness. I'm not a kid anymore, you know? But he still sees me like one. She shrugs. I want to show him I can handle myself. I need experience. I need to run some contracts. She gives you a determined look. What do you say? I'll think about it. I'm a good salvager, all right? You can use me. She smiles. I can spot things, find gaps, ways in. She folds her arms across her chest. I know what I'm doing. Femi taught me well. She glances back at the ship. Just consider it, all right? Let me prove myself. Suddenly a shout comes from the ship, echoing down the passage. Femi. He makes both of you nervous. Naya looks in his direction. I should go. She pushes off towards the docking bridge. I'll be waiting. Naya gives you one last glance as she departs, then disappears into the docking bridge, leaving you alone in the passage. New local crew available. Minor drive complete, because we recruited some a local crew member. So we have 1 point. 1 point gets you nothing. So we're not gonna worry about that. Now, I'm out of dice. So nothing to do. Let's have Seraphim. Yeah, Seraphim focus on salvaging fuel. I don't think we have any way to like see um 3% damage increase on critical hits on a single spell. Ooh, hang on, now we're talking. But that's the end of the cycle. That's all we can do. Once you run out of dice, you're kind of out of things to do. That's not a bad roll. I'll take, you know, hey, I'll take those. We got 1 fuel. Let's go. So we can endure and 11 cryo. All right, we're gonna oh. It's really not even worth it to spend that neutral outcome. Positive outcome, 11 cryo. So on a neutral, we get 8. On a positive, we get 11. On a negative, we lose energy. This gives us 4 energy. That's good. I don't think there's anything we can do with a 1. But the goal here is to fill up on fuel, which we can kind of do. Cargo's more expensive, or supplies is more expensive than fuel. So let's fire up our fuel. But we need supplies. We need supplies more than anything. That's another day. This was a big thing in the first Citizen Sleeper. Is some days all you can do is try to is make money, make positive progress towards what you're working on, understanding the risks. You know, if I put this 2 in there, it turns into a 3. Is the 3 worth it when you consider, you know, so you have to think about it this way, right? So a 3 gives me 25% chance at earning 11 credits, a 50% chance of earning 8 credits, and a 25% chance of losing an energy. Energy costs 7 cryo for 2, or 13 cryo for 4, right? So the chance at the positive is worth it. There we go, we made 11 cryo, right? This one can't give me a positive outcome. It's not worth the risk, right? Which is why I'll probably buy one of these up first. But getting the ability to interface at all will be really helpful. Oh yeah, let's, oh no, you can't. I thought you could, I thought there was difficulty selection, but I guess not. But this is the game. The first game, that's a good roll. The first game was the first game, the first Citizen Sleeper was the first game that I had played that I felt really emulated what it felt like to be a person, like live as a person that was dealing with poverty or chronic illness. Like the idea that some days are bad days And those are the days that you plan for. Those are the days you try to protect yourself against, right? To be able to say, you know, when those bad days come, thankfully, I have these, you know, these stores. Thankfully, I have, you know, I've made these plans. And the days when, you know, you start a day, it's going to happen in this game, right? One of these days, I'm going to start a day and I'm going to have like 2s and 3s. And it's just like, okay, what do we try to get done today? What do we try to do with the knowledge that we're not going to get a lot of wins, right? What do we risk? What do we push for? Is it worth it, right? We've got a good amount of money. I could buy our cryo. I don't know if we need energy before contracts. I don't remember if energy, while on contract, your energy bar will be supplied for each cycle you have supplies. This is a mental health simulator. It takes a lot of it takes a lot of those things into account, right? Because another big part of this game is that you're, you know, it's a main part of the game. Your body is breaking down. You know, it's a thing that they changed from the first game to the second game, and, you know, had narrative repercussions. You had to get stabilizer to keep your body from breaking down, right? And so that was what you were putting a lot of your money towards, right? It was like, okay, you know I need one of the, and it was so difficult to find, and they were so limited and so specific. So yeah, I'd still absolutely recommend checking out the first game. I think the first game is still amazing. Here's what I want to do. Let's fill our supplies and get on a full stomach. Right? And then we can do the Conway signal. Try to make some money. Okay. So, oh, Junie is not available right now, which is interesting. So we have Seraphim, who's locked, who has these skills. I kind of wish when I moused over them it said. And we'll bring Naya. We'll bring Naya with us. Junie is not available. Maybe Junie is only available on the other contract, but Naya has 4 stress. Seraphim has 6 stress, and we're going to see what jobs look like or contracts, because contracts are very different. Well, very different. Contracts are different. It's a drone. Seraphim spots the signal source first, the light barely shimmering off its dark hull plating. Design trait that betrays its covert use. Okay, and I didn't have to fill up, and we got new dice, so that's a good thing to keep in mind. A flash catches your attention, and you see a rent in the hull, through which red lights pulse. Wounded, Seraphim shakes his head. Wish they'd finished the job. You've seen one before? Seraphim looks back over his shoulder. We've seen one before. Don't you... I'm sorry. I know it's not your fault. He looks at the drone. Lane had us work on one in a dark side bay, though it was barely a shell. Disarmed and disactivated. He had us searching through its guts for salvage. Even that one gave me the creeps, and it had its core ripped out. He pushes the ship closer. This one's still live. Conway. Naya kisses her teeth. I think that's like, I don't, corporate scum. You glance over to her and see the fire in her bright eyes. They don't even dare to come here and force us out themselves. It's all proxies and drones. She shakes her head. Typical core-bred cowards. Run into them before? It might be hisses her teeth, you know, where you're like, something like that, you know. But yeah, it's not, that's a typo. That's a typo and not a typo that would get caught by like spell check, you know? She glances at you. You might say that. She looks out at the drone. You won't see me taking my eyes off that thing for a second. Seraphine carefully glides the ship closer. You watch the drone. System is full of these things now, running missions for their operators. Rare to see one out in the belt though. Maybe it got hit during a run-in with Senestat mercs. Looks like it's drifting. Most of the system's blown out, but look there. He jabs a finger towards a red light in the far side of the drone. Maybe it's still broadcasting, and maybe even receiving. Did it say kisses her teeth? Yeah, I am. We can scroll up. Listen, I haven't seen a game come out without a typo, so. How do we shut it off? That's a thing? What's... I've never heard this. What is that? Active making a sucking sound around your teeth, often accompanied by rolling of the eyes or shaking the head. Oh, I've never heard this phrase. That's interesting. Oh, is it just like, is it just that? Is it just the clickings? Is it just the Jamaican slang? The phrase suck your teeth. Yes, okay, yeah, sucking your teeth. I've heard of that. I haven't heard of kissing your teeth. Oh. Oh, okay. Okay. I've only ever heard it as kissing your teeth. Yeah, that's okay. Okay, here. I'll come over here. So this is a good video example. Where is it? I have to always find. So this is a good video example.
Hey, you don't understand.
Yeah, I've only ever heard it as sucking your teeth, which isn't surprised because I'm neither black or Jamaican. So, you know. But yeah, there you go. We're learning things. We're learning things. Oh, whoops. Hey, there's content warnings for 10 dead dubs. Look out. Yeah, now I understand. 10 dead dubs comes back. I go back and I come back here. It's 10 dead dubs. You're like, Matt, what happened? Seraphine brings you ever closer. What I remember from the dark side job is that the central core and the broadcast array need to be shut off to kill these things. Core will turn off local systems, and the broadcast array will sever the link with the Conway operators. Seraphine swallows. But you can bet those systems are protected. You know, I feel like we can't blow it up, so. Your attention is suddenly drawn by a shudder from the drone, like a tremor running along its length. This thing is ringed to blow, Sleeper. We go slow and careful, and we don't touch anything we don't know about. He turns back to Naya. You hear that? I got you. She looks sincere. I was half asleep on the bus, only half heard what you said, and I was like, wait. I didn't know there was a noise people made. I don't think I've ever heard that, like, come up, but we're learning. It's great. Seraphim brings the rig to a stop, close enough for you to cross through open space to reach the drone's hull. Let's suit up. You head down the airlock to prepare. As you get suited up, you think of the corporate war taking place in the inner system. The war that this drone was driven from. Out here, on the shore of the conflict, the biggest danger is this flotsam and jetsam drifting in with the tides and orbits of the system might, one cycle, bring the war with it. For now, the belt is outside of its reach, but looking out at the red pulsing drone, that doesn't give you much comfort. So, contracts. Basically, each of our crew member will give us 2 additional dice, right? So we have our 5 dice. Each of them give us 2 dice. Our energy bar is filled with supplies, right? Which is why you make sure you have a bunch of supplies. Excuse me. There's 4 stress that the drone can take, and when we hit that, we're done. We can also, so we can push ourselves here, right? So we have our stress. So we can push. Now, based on what the abilities are, we might want to. But once you start taking enough stress, stuff starts happening to your dice. So it's a whole thing. I have to stop myself from doing it. Anytime someone says something wrong. That used to be a big thing for me in school. Man. I love this, just like interface. No. That's fun. That's woof. Okay, what do we got here with the hull damage? Okay, so Naya's great here. I'm good here, but okay. So we have to identify the route. Might be possible to slip through the gap in the drone's damaged hull. But once inside, where to go? How do we find the broadcast array? So Naya's very good at that. So you know what we're gonna do is I'm actually gonna push. Oh, that's +2 to all of their lowest dice. That's stronger than I thought it was. That's stronger than I thought it was, actually. Okay, so she took 1 stress because we got a neutral outcome. Okay, good. Now, a lot of this is just managing our shit. Okay, neutral outcome, I get a stress, which is why you can't just be taking stress all the time. Okay. Not happy. Not happy. Feeling good. Okay. Not feeling great about this. It's been 15 seconds. No. Okay, so we rolled a 1. Okay, so here's what happened. Do you see how the little stress marker is here? So we rolled a 1, so our dice took damage. Our dice took damage. Oh, I forgot there's shit you can do on the ship. I forgot there's shit you can do on the ship, but that's fine. We don't really need that. Seraphine's dice suck. And I'm gonna push. Because if I roll a 2, it's gonna suck anyway. I'm basically the only person who can do these. No, oh, come on, dog. I don't need this in my life. Stop giving me stress! I swear to God! I'm gonna die. I'm just gonna explode. I'm gonna explode in stress. Okay, good. No. Oh my God, we only have 1 drone stress left. Dog. Dog, please, my heart. And now all of our dice are gonna get fucked. Okay, that's okay. Actually, that's really good. Actually, holy shit. Okay, 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 okay. Okay. Seraphine swing. Seraphine was like, I rolled 2 1s yesterday, and I'm not doing that again. Okay. You hear the beeping immediately. Among the chambers and cabling of the drone's interior, something has started counting down. Guys? Naya's voice comes hissing through the suit's comm channel. Does anyone else hear that? Because I'm getting nervous. Shit. Seraphine's voice joins her. This is what I was worried about. Are we screwed? I can't be sure. Seraphine's dropped his voice to a whisper, as if that might make a difference. Either this thing's about to send out a distress call, or it's about to blow. We gotta shut this system down fast. He pauses. Then we move on to the other side, because I bet you there's a surprise waiting for us there, too. We good? Naya sounds tense. Am I headed back to the ship, or what? Seraphine cuts in. We're good. We keep going. He shuts off the channel. You take a moment in the silence. All right, time to deal with this fast, then get over to the other side before something happens. All right, so now, there's a clock ticking down for their countermeasure. So this is why I was glad I didn't spend Naya's dice. But here's the thing. I think if I push, disable the core, shut down the broadcast array. Core disabled. We have to shut down. We have to shut this down. Okay, so spend Seraphine's 6s. Right? That gets broadcast access cut off. Boom. Okay. Both of the, oh no. Oh, no. All right, well, that's one. Wait, it can't blow up anymore? No, it still can. Okay, good. Okay. Okay. No, I can't even get a positive. I'm not gonna spend the 4. I'm not gonna spend the 4. I'm not gonna spend the 4. So you're doing great. So things are good. Oh, why would they do this? Why would they do this to me? Oh my God, all my dice. Cool, so one of my dice is broken. One of my dice is broken, so I just don't have that dice. Just don't. It just doesn't. Okay, you know what? You take a stress, that's fine. No.
Guess I'll just
die. We need 4s and 5s. I have 1 stress left, and I guess I could have. I want to save that for when it's going to give the both of them a good boost. In the meantime, my dice will just explode. Yeah, good. Good. Okay, wait. Okay, wait, they got 6s. 6s are good. 5s and 6s are good. Let's go! Oh my God. Look at us, who'd have thought? Who do you think you are? I am! The thrumming, pulsing interior of the drone goes still for the first time since you boarded it. You look across at Seraphim and Naya and share a smile. While exhale so loudly it can be heard over the suit's shared comm channel. The drone is dead. One less piece of Conway shit to worry about, Naya grins. We killed it. Don't get too excited, Seraphim cuts in. It was looking pretty rough when we got here. You make your way back out to the hull, the drone now faintly rolling in one direction. Its stabilizer's offline. Naya catches up with you as you glide towards the rig. You make a pretty good crew, Sleeper. What do your brother think? Don't go ruin it by bringing him into this, Naya grins. Maybe he'll never find out. Yeah, maybe. Maybe. You reach the rig's airlock and take one last look at the drone's dark hull. Catches the light as it rolls in the vacuum. At some point in the near future, this drone will likely be smashed to pieces by one of the many asteroids of the belt. Spread across this place as twinkling dust. The thought pleases you. As does the thought of all that cryo Hexport now owes you. Time to go collect. -5 stress during travel. Oh my God, thank you. After docking at Hexport, Seraphim lets go of the controls and leans back in the chair. Naya leans over to you. Thank you, Sleeper. She stretches. I know you took a chance on me. Glad to have you. Naya smiles an infectious smile. Feels good to make a contract work, Seraphim smiles. No matter how we pull it off. It's hard not to agree. And it feels better when the Hexport courier comes with a lockbox full of chits. Lane may be hunting for you, but this should help the effort to slip his net. Suddenly, you hear a familiar voice. Naya! Femi glides into view, approaching from the docks. He fixes you with a stare. What are you playing at, Sleeper? Naya wanted to come. You go to speak, but Naya drifts forward, cutting you off. Don't come throwing your weight around, Femi. I can make my own decisions. She glances back at you. Sleeper took me at my word, and I'm grateful. Femi is fuming. Did they now? He turns to you. Well, if you're working for Sleeper, I hope they paid you well. Naya looks away. Well, I asked, so... Femi smiles. Oh, so they aren't paying you. I mean, we just hadn't talked about it. Seraphim crosses his arms. Let's keep this civil. You realize this is the first time he's meeting Femi. If we're being civil, seems like Naya's older share. Femi fixes you with a severe look. I mean, listen, she did the work, so... Grab around a quarter of the chits from the lockbox and hold them out to Naya. She takes them sheepishly. All right then. Femi smiles. We're good here. He turns to leave. Naya mouths a sorry and follows Femi across the docks. Seraphim watches them go. You sure know how to pick 'em, Sleeper. He shakes his head. He turns away and heads back along the docking bridge. I just hope we aren't going to end up a stack of cryo short when we need to get out of here. Well, you know, if we do, then what do? We completed a drive and earned an upgrade point. You have push upgrades available. So now I have 2 points. So this says -1 crew stress unless full when I use my rally, or +2 to the affected crew dice. I'm gonna go with that. So now +1 stress for 3 to the lowest crew dice, which is great. We also now have some money, and my dice are fucking exploded. So let's go see dice health. While at a hub, you can repair dice at the rig workshop location by using rare and scrap components. I'm sorry? So I can reduce stress, which is important. Negative outcome, you just don't do nothing. Negative outcome, nothing. Okay, so now my dice will only take damage if I roll a 1. So what we're gonna do real quick, just to see how bad it gets, we're gonna end the cycle and see on my 3 dice if I roll any 1s. Okay. I'm sure this is fine. I'm sure this is fine. My dice are exploding. The stress, I'm out of my mind with stress. I'm sure it's good. Matt seems to be very good at this game. How dare you? How dare you? All right, listen, I got 1. I'm just gonna, listen, we're gonna try to take that last one. There you go, 0 stress. 0 stress. It's going great. It's going so good. Matt, how's it going? It's going so good. All right. I'm gonna take this 5. I need scrap. Can I just not fix my dice until later? Do I have to go into this job with like fucked up dice? Was that the, wait, was that the thing? Oh man, can I not, hang on. Okay, I can still do that contract, but dog, it's gonna, all right. So I'm gonna go take my morning break. I'm gonna go take my morning break now that everything is going great and exploding and my dice are dying. So it's morning break time in that great way. Yeah, now that everything is great, now that everything's amazing, I'm gonna go take my morning break. I'll see everybody back here in just a little bit. I'm gonna go to the bathroom. I'm gonna walk Josie. I'm gonna grab a snack, all that good stuff. And I'll see everybody back here for more Citizen Sleeper, just a little bit. If you haven't recently, get up, take a stretch, drink some water, go touch some grass, get some fresh air, do whatever you gotta do. I'll see you back here in a minute.